Have you ever thought you weren't smart? Have you ever sat in a classroom watching people around you solve math problems in a flash, write essays like they were born doing it, and wondered why you're so slow? Have you ever felt stupid, felt like you were less than everyone else? But maybe, just maybe, you're standing on the wrong playground. While you're struggling with a math equation, feeling like your brain is about to explode, somewhere out there, someone is creating melodies that make the whole world shake. And that person might be way worse at math than you are. While you're sitting there writing an essay, and every word feels like it's being painfully pulled from your head, there's someone who can read everyone's emotions around them with just a glance, a small gesture, and that person might write 10 times worse than you do. The truth is, intelligence has many faces, many different shapes, and one thing's for sure, you possess one of them, you just might not have found it yet. In 1983, there was a psychologist named Howard Gardner at Harvard University, and he did something that completely changed the way we look at intelligence. He said that not everyone has to be good at math or good at writing to be called intelligent. Every person is born with their own sparks of light. It's just that those sparks shine in different places. Gardner identified 9 different types of intelligence. And what's interesting is that each of us has a few types that are more prominent than the others. It's not your fault. It's not something you can control. It's simply the way your brain was designed from birth. Linguistic intelligence. The first type is linguistic intelligence. There are people who, when they open their mouths, words just flow out like a waterfall, naturally, smoothly, without thinking. They read a book and can remember every single sentence, every word. They write an email that others have to read over and over because it's unbelievably good. They tell stories, and everyone around them sits in silence, listening mesmerized as if they're under a spell. These are people with high linguistic intelligence. Their brains are designed to play with words, with sentences, with expression and storytelling. But at the same time, there are others who look at a page of text like they're looking at a maze. Every letter looks the same. Every sentence is confusing. They try to write a short paragraph, and it takes them an entire hour, and the result still isn't what they wanted. They're not stupid, they're not inadequate. It's simply that their brains are designed to shine in other places. Logical mathematical intelligence. The second type is logical mathematical intelligence. Have you ever met people who, when they look at numbers or formulas, their eyes light up like they just found treasure? They see patterns, hidden rules behind the numbers, even when everyone else around them only sees chaos. They solve math like others breathe, naturally, easily, without trying too hard. Their brains automatically connect the logical pieces together into a complete picture, like puzzles assembling themselves. What about you? Maybe you look at a math equation and feel like it's an alien language, completely incomprehensible. You read it over and over, but nothing sinks in. And that's completely normal, because your brain is dedicating all its energy and power to other things that are more important to you. Spatial intelligence. The third type is spatial intelligence. Some people can close their eyes and visualize an entire room in their head clearly. They can rotate it, change it, redesign it just with the power of imagination. They drive through an unfamiliar neighborhood just once, and the next time they come back, they remember the way home perfectly. They look at a 2-dimensional blueprint and automatically see what it will look like in 3-dimensional reality. Their brains work with images, with space, with depth and distance. Meanwhile, there are others who get lost, even when they've gone down the same road 10 times. They open Google Maps and still don't know which direction to go. They look at an architectural drawing and only see a bunch of confusing lines. They're not inadequate, they're not lacking. It's just that their brains aren't designed to remember and process information that way. Musical intelligence. The fourth type is musical intelligence. There are people who hear a song just once and they can play it back immediately, as if their brain automatically recorded every note. They hear the harmony of sounds, they feel the emotions hidden in every melody, every rhythm. Music to them isn't simply noise or entertainment, but a complete language, a profound way of communicating. Their brains process sound in a way that most of us can't even imagine. What about others? They can listen to music all day, but by evening they don't remember a single melody. They sing karaoke and are constantly offbeat, off key. And you know what? That's not a problem at all. That's just the way their brains work. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. The fifth type is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Some people, their bodies are like perfectly controlled instruments. They dance, they play sports, they do crafts with astonishing precision. Their hands and feet seem to know what to do without the brain commanding them. Automatic, reflexive, accurate to the millimeter. They string beads, they sew, they play basketball, and it all looks easy, as if they were born knowing how to do it. Their brains connect directly with their bodies, creating perfect coordination between thought and action. Meanwhile, there are people who trip when walking on flat ground. They constantly drop things, they play sports like it's a disaster. They're not clumsy or inadequate. It's simply that their brains don't prioritize this type of intelligence. The energy is being poured into other places. Interpersonal intelligence. The sixth type is interpersonal intelligence, communicating with others. Do you know people who just need to look into your eyes for a second and they already know how you're feeling? They don't need you to say a word, they already understand if you're sad, happy, worried, or angry. They walk into a crowded room and naturally know who needs comfort, who's mad at whom, who's feeling lonely in the crowd. They say the right thing at the right time. They know when to be silent and when to speak up. Their brains read people like others read books, easily and naturally. Then there are others who are completely confused by the emotions of people around them. They say the wrong things at the wrong times. They don't understand why someone is upset. They don't notice when someone is sad. They're not inconsiderate or selfish. It's just that their brains process social information differently or simply don't process it much at all. Intrapersonal intelligence. The seventh type is intrapersonal intelligence, understanding yourself. Some people understand themselves to a strangely deep level. They know exactly why they act the way they do, why they feel the way they do. They recognize patterns in their own behavior. They have a rich internal dialogue. They self-reflect, self-aware, and self-regulate. When they're sad, they know why. When they're angry, they understand its source. Their brains turn inward, exploring their own inner world like an explorer discovering a new continent. Meanwhile, there are people who live their entire lives without ever stopping to ask why they do things, why they feel certain ways. They act on instinct, on immediate emotion. They don't analyze themselves too much. And you know what? That's also a way of living, a completely valid way of existing. Naturalist intelligence. The eighth type is naturalist intelligence, intelligence about nature. There are people who walk into the forest and feel like they're home. They identify each species of tree just by the shape of the leaves. They know every bird by its song. They understand natural cycles like they understand their own hands. They look up at the sky and know when it's about to rain just by observing the clouds. They touch the soil and know what nutrients it's lacking. They connect with nature in a way that city people can't comprehend. Their brains are optimized to recognize, classify, and connect with the natural world. What about others? They look at a forest and just see trees, lots of trees, all looking the same. They hear birds singing, but can't tell which is which. They step into nature and just want to go home as quickly as possible. And that's completely fine too. Existential intelligence. And the ninth type, the last one, is existential intelligence or philosophical intelligence. Some people, even when they were young children, have been asking big questions like, why do we exist? What is the meaning of life? What happens after we die? Where did this universe come from? They contemplate deep philosophical questions, questions that don't have easy answers, maybe don't have any answers at all. They can't stop thinking about the nature of existence, about humanity's place in this vast universe. Their brains crave understanding about the big picture, about humanity's biggest questions. Meanwhile, there are people who live very well, very happily, without ever needing answers to these questions. They focus on the present, on concrete things in front of them, on today's meal, on tomorrow's work. They don't worry about the meaning of the universe, and their lives are still complete and fulfilled, and both ways are equally valuable. You know what the amazing thing is? Every single one of us has a few types of intelligence that stand out among these 9. Maybe you haven't found it yet. Maybe you haven't recognized it because you haven't been in the right place, doing the right thing in the right environment for it to have a chance to shine. Throughout our entire lives, from the moment we walked into school, the education system has taught us that there's only one type of intelligence that's recognized, and that's being good at math, good at writing, getting high test scores, sitting still in class and listening to lectures. And anyone who doesn't fit into that narrow mold gets labeled as not intelligent, as a poor student, as inadequate. But you know what? The reality is completely different from what they taught us. Maybe you sit in class and feel stupid, feel like you're slower than everyone else, but when you step outside the schoolyard, you can read people's emotions just from a glance, from a look in their eyes. Maybe you're terrible at math, your scores are always low, but you can create melodies, songs that make people cry with emotion. Maybe you're not good at writing essays. Every time you write, it's a headache, but your hands can create beautiful works of art, graceful dances, intricate crafts. This world is incredibly vast. It has room for all types of intelligence. It needs mathematicians to solve complex equations, but it also needs dancers to bring emotions to people. It needs writers to tell stories, but it also needs people who understand nature to protect this planet. It needs programmers to build the future, but it also needs people who know how to listen and understand others. You don't need to be good at everything. You don't need to please everyone. You just need to find one thing, just one single thing that your brain was born to do well. And when you find it, when you're standing in your right place, you'll see that you're intelligent in a way that no one else can be intelligent like that. Life is a long journey of discovery. Live a lot, experience many different things, try things you never thought you could do. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid you won't be good at it, because every attempt brings you closer to finding your own light. Maybe tomorrow you try painting and realize you don't have a knack for spatial skills, but next week you try playing music and suddenly discover that music is the language you were born to speak. Maybe this year you try accounting and feel like you're drowning in numbers, but next year you try social work and realize this is where you belong. One day, a day not far away, you'll be doing something, somewhere, and you'll feel a strange sensation in your heart, a feeling like all the puzzle pieces have finally fallen into place. And you'll think to yourself, this is it, this is the place, this is the thing, this is where I belong. And when that moment comes, you'll understand one thing. You'll understand that you were never unintelligent like you thought all this time. You were just standing on the wrong playground, trying to shine in places that weren't yours. So keep walking, keep exploring, keep experimenting. The world is still out there, vast and full of possibilities, waiting for you to find your own spot. And trust me, that light is somewhere out there. It just takes time for you to find it.